Greetings to you all, and welcome back to Let's Play Dungeons & Dragons Warriors of the Eternal Sun. Before we set out on our quest again, I'm just going to tidy up the inventory. It's important to stay tidy. We don't need that dagger anymore. We don't need a standard sword. I should explain what this is. That's worth 2,000 gold. This is a +1 sword. What that means is when you do an attack, whatever damage number you're supposed to do, it does +1. No, let me explain. If you were to hit someone with a normal sword, and it would do 8 damage. With this sword, it will do 9. Right. I could sell the Gauntlets of Ogre Power, because they don't do anything, but I'll keep them, just because. Gotta keep the mace. I'm not always going to use the Staff of Healing, and I can't actually bonk people with the Staff of Healing, but I can bonk people with a mace. Perfect. You don't have any better actual weapons, do you? No. No, you don't. Spear is not a bad weapon by any means, but it's not better than the +1 sword and the +1 axe I'm currently brandishing. So, we begin our quest again. Let's look at the map. So, I can't move this little box around to indicate. But we have tried that campfire. Didn't work. I can tell you for free that if you go to the swampy area in the bottom right of this island, there's nothing there. If you go to the top right and go to that cliff, there's a cave. And if you go in that cave, you'll end up on top of the cliff. And if you end up on top of the cliff, you'll never find your way out ever again. Seriously. It is so hard to get back off that cliff. It spits you out at some random tree. And if you don't memorize exactly where that tree is, you'll spend the rest of your day just walking into trees, hoping it's the dungeon. You just crawl through. There's nothing there. We're not going there. All that leaves is for us to go over the bridge. Big moment coming up. People always complain they're scared when they cross the bridge. Not everyone. The most cowardly of the team. Who's it gonna be? Kane? Great. Kane, who should be the most charismatic and brave, and Elodie, my literal leader who stands at the front, are the two who are terrified. Great. Fills me with confidence. That's quite a scary fight. Let's do it. Good start. I didn't rest, which means I don't get my spell back. That's out of sling range. Good shot. Kane, you should be good at this range too. Lovely stuff. I like to imagine this guy's just taking his pet bear for a walk. So it's not the most obvious in this game, but you can actually see how much HP the enemies have when you're outside. Yes, there's an inside. So if you look in the top right, but you just try to point blank me with a sling. That's my plan. That's my terrible plan. But yes, if I select this guy, in the top right, you'll see target's HP. We'll try and bring him down quick. Now, I don't really care how much damage I take so long as no one dies. Somehow, I feel like that was my fault. Run. Just skip turn then. Get away from these monsters. Run. So, Mina. Oh, good lord. Only the brave survive. The guards weren't joking when they said this is a dangerous place. It's going to be exciting for the viewers watching me walk back to town repeatedly. I'm not cutting it out. You can have the whole mess. Right, we've learned our lesson. Never fight anything. I wonder what the king's thinking. This is the second time we've returned to town already. We should report to him. My lord, we found some beastmen. They weren't friendly. We killed them all. Good. My lord, we found a bear. It killed half of the team. It wasn't friendly. It won't be our ally. Thank you, friend. Now this man here is not the only way to revive people in the game, but he's the only way we've got so far. And the only other way to revive party members is... Wait, that's not what I want. Is kind of obscure, really far away, and in a very awkward position. So basically it's this guy or bust. But it is possible, technically. That could come into play, depending on how things go. Oh, that was ominous, without context. So resting does a few things in this game. Resting will allow you to regain HP. It will allow the mages to replenish their stocks of the spells. So my magic user, she has one stock of tier 1 magic, which I filled with magic missile. I could fill it with sleep, but I'm sticking with magic missile. So she can cast it once, and then she needs to go to sleep in order to cast it again. I don't understand the laws of magic, alright? Yes, alright, we know you're cowards. You've told us once before. You don't need to keep telling us. Although, to be honest, I think your fear is warranted, considering what happened last time we crossed this bridge. But don't worry, this time we're going to be better. Anyway, sleeping. Other things you can do when you sleep, or rest, I should say. You can scribe scrolls. So if you have a scroll for a spell, you can take the time to learn the spell. Then it's permanently memorized. This is only a thing for the magic user. It's not for the cleric. There aren't spells for the cleric that are found on scrolls like that. But yes, resting very good. I'm so scared. There's a grizzly bear behind it as well. Oh, run. Just run. 3 wolves I was going to give a go, but 3 wolves and a bear? At firstly, I don't know why they've teamed up. But good lord, that is terrifying. Why is this world so frightening? Halfling aside, my team's pretty good as well. Now, do you think we can step on the flames? Spoilers, we can't. If you walk on that, you'll take 2 damage per step, I think. And you'll die within 4 steps. That's for later. We can see it on the map. There's clearly a cavern in the upper left that we'll need to explore later, but we can't right now. We, however, are heading for that cave network. Slightly north of here. And the game doesn't explicitly tell you where to go, but it gives you a map, and the map has clear landmarks on it. And most of the landmarks are sealed. For example, the fire bridge is sealed because there's fire on the bridge. That counts as sealed. You know what? You huge beastman. If you want to fight me so badly, then come on. This isn't the best start. 1 out of 4 is not too bad. Keep it up, guys. Fortunately, he's pretty slow. We've made a terrible mistake. You know what, I'm not taking this chance anymore. Just end this creature. Very manly cry there from Pocky. That's what I like to hear. That is the cry of level up. Right, Kane's dead. I'll miss him. quite bad for Kane. It means he's going to miss out on all the experience. Also, he's dead. I'm sure it probably hurt. I mean, it was a pretty big club, and it killed him clean in one hit, so... You know, I imagine that's fairly painful. I don't know, I've never been bludgeoned so hard it killed me before. This is more like it. We're on form. We're landing shots. Clearly Kane was holding us back. Where are the caves whose name I cannot reveal? Aha, we're here. The caves. We'll take a quick nap. And we shall enter. I think we need to get rid of the stuff of healing, though, for in here. But I get to demonstrate some indoors combat. Wonderful. So indoors combat is completely different. Now, I was always led to believe this was called a dungeon crawler, but in modern days, the term dungeon crawler is kind of used for everything, so it's hard to explain what it is. But here we are. So when you're inside, it's not a turn-based, tactical kind of game anymore. Now it's an action RPG kind of game. And we move on a grid system. Our abilities are to step forwards or backwards. And then we can turn left and turn right. Pressing A, we'll use the left item. Pressing B, we'll use the right item. Seems there's nothing in this cave. Not suspicious. As you can imagine, the melee weapons can literally only hit the tile in front of you. It's a Beastman Warrior's cave. Not anymore, it isn't. Ah, the shield spell. Good thing we didn't waste 500 gold buying that. It's as if I knew it was here. So these are the Beastman caves. And if you remember, we've encountered the Beastmen before. They made that little camp right outside the castle. And this is a war party. And I'm kind of surrounded. I need to kill this guy, please! Why is there a lieutenant behind him? I just want to hide in a corner. Right. Things are not looking good. Why is it always these two that survive to the end? Okay. There are more beastmen in the next room. Okay. I'm suitably scared. I can see them. Hello, chaps. What are you doing? You dancing back there? Oh, good lord. Alright, bring it! Cheap shot. Now, kiting is a very real thing in this game. For example, I can do this. You just outrange him. Makes the corners the most dangerous thing, but if the enemy is willing to come to me, it makes the corners substantially less dangerous. Now, you noticed earlier when I was surrounded, I seemed to be taking damage to all of my characters. And you might think, well, that's normal, they just attack random enemies, right? Ooh, gold and artifacts. Very nice. Very descriptive. But yes, all of my characters are taking damage, and you probably think, well, that's normal, I mean, they're just attacking people at random. But no, that's not quite how it goes. If you look at me on the world map, and it's not going to be a very good example with only 2 party members. Also, we're taking a nap for 64 hours. Don't worry about that. But you'll see people have a fixed location. For example, at the moment, Mina is at the front, and Pocky is on the left. When you're in an indoor scenario, if you get attacked from the left, Pocky or whoever is in slot 2 will take damage. Don't do that. So it actually does keep the party formation. If you get attacked from behind, the person in 4th slot takes the damage. That is why I was getting attacked on player 2 and player 3, and it's why having a leader with a lot of HP actually works in this game. Because as long as you're always facing the enemies, it is always slot 1 that will take the damage. For example here, if they get a hit out, it will definitely go on Mina. And I like that because it means you can actually plan out having a leader who can tank, rather than just having someone with a lot of HP and then the enemies just ignore them and kill everyone else instead. That sometimes happens. This is getting very tense with only 2 party members. What? How did I end up on the bottom floor? Why are these guys back? Just so you know, there is a boss fight in these caves. That's right, I'm going to have to fight a boss with my 2, I would say, main damage dealers dead. You could argue that my mage is a main damage dealer, but as it stands, she has 1 spell. Does she still have 1 spell? Yes, 1 spell. As she levels up, she will gain more spells. Yeah, what cave did I just do? And now I'm stepping on traps because my man, who is supposed to detect traps for me, went off and died. Selfish swine. I'll be having words with you later, Kane. It's a woman! She's angry. It's a bronze-skinned woman who is snarling. Sorry, if they're going to give me descriptions, I'm going to use them. She actually has a name, but come on, I can't pronounce Aztec names. Correction, she had a name. She also had turquoise jewellery and 300 pieces of gold, but she won't be needing those anymore. Now why are the beastmen entertaining a random Azcan lady? Not sure. 2 caves remain. I wish to speak with your leader to talk about an alliance, and I will slaughter your entire tribe until I get that meeting. How many lieutenants do you have? It seems you have more lieutenants than you have whatever's below a lieutenant. Privates. I feel like I missed out a couple of military ranks there. We have to pry that potion from Kane's cold, dead hands. Never mind, you got your own. Okay, we've got to be quick here. What? I messed that up. Okay. Whew. In fact, we're going to use another one. Desperate times. Why a corpse is unable to use potions? What is this madness? This cave is very big. I don't like it. Oh, hello, Captain. Yeah, I'm having that potion. Give it here. Plot-wise, there's supposed to be an army of 4 proud heroes marching into this place, slaughtering all of the beastmen. But in the lore of this Let's Play, it's just 2 women, 2 mages at that. And they're not even using their magic, they're just putting the pain on with their mace and staff. Maybe Marmillion could help us, maybe. I don't see why Marmillion, the person who wants the artifacts, is going to be particularly talented at getting us through vines, but maybe. Who knows? It's Ukalanga. He is the boss. He will kill. Now, if things get really dicey, we do have the Wand of Lightning. But let's save it for now. Take that! That was really uneventful. But yes, this is Ukalanga, first boss. And head of the Beastmen. I deliberately faced him with my side there so that someone else would take the damage. Not Mina. I've got all kinds of advanced tactics that usually you wouldn't need to use, because usually half your team isn't dead. I don't know who's got the manlier cry out of these two women, but yeah! Finally, Mina's made it to level 2. Looking good, Mina. Looking good. Ukalanga dead. Let's loot his stuff. Give it here. That went by a bit too fast. I'll examine exactly what that was in a minute. I think I've done this whole cave, yes? Yes, whole cave explored. Fantastic. And tell you what, we'll save the final cave. Not because it's anything special, but because I need to go back and talk to Marmillion anyway. But we'll do it when we come back. That way the other two can get some experience. But, more importantly, Mina's made level 2, which means Mina gets to spell. Now, unlike the magic user, who is Pocky, who has to learn spells by scribing them from scrolls, the cleric just gets all of her spells. When she reaches a high enough level to use level 1 magic, she unlocks every level 1 mage spell. Cleric spell. Let me run through what these spells do real quick. Cure light wounds. This is minor heal and is probably the main reason you got a cleric. Cause light wounds. It does damage very low. It's quite similar to magic missile really in function, but you didn't get a cleric to do damage, right? Detect magic. I don't know. Light. This blinds the target for a short while. It's pretty good. They can't act. It sort of skips their turn. Darkness. This blinds the target for a short while. It's exactly the same as light. Protect from evil. This does do something. There are special attacks, I believe, and this protects you from them. You take reduced damage from them. Now, whether it actually works in this game, I don't know, but in theory, that's what it does. Remove fear removes the effect fear. Cause fear causes the effect fear. Fear makes enemies run away. I don't want my enemies to run away. It's not useful. If I want to maneuver around an enemy, I'll send it to sleep. Resist cold. That does nothing. I mean, not strictly true, it does do something, but it's not very exciting. Right, Pocky. Being level 2, can now have 2 spells. I can mix and match these spells if I so choose. So I could do that, for example. Or I can have 2 of the same spell, my choice. So I'm going to have a magic missile, because why not? We get light and dark again. Blinding is actually pretty useful. As much as I laugh at these spells, blinding is pretty useful. Sleep is also pretty useful in any outdoors fight to buy time. Shield is a defensive spell. My characters have 4 hit points, and they're getting hit for 12 at a time. A shield is not going to save them. Yeah, no, we'll mix it up. Go on then. We'll have a sleep. Just in case. And this is something just for the role players amongst you. The cleric will now use her healing magic to heal the party as she sleeps. So we will sleep for less time. Now that doesn't do anything. Okay, don't get the wrong ideas. We're not on the clock here. But for the role players amongst you, she will rest until she has a heal spell. She will then use the heal spell on someone and then rest again to regain a heal spell. Well, that's absolutely terrifying. Fortunately, he is outmaneuvered by my superior agility. Dance for me, Pocky, dance! And in. And out. And in. And out. satisfying. And this isn't the path I usually take, so I'm going to get lost in the undergrowth. Damn it. You can usually get through these bushes, but it's usually a horrendous pain. I should have just stayed in the open. I should have walked through the clearing. This is the biggest mistake I've ever made in my life. How far away from the bridge am I? Miles. Okay, I'm going to the cliff. The cliff is safe. And now there's a guy chasing me and I don't know if I can get away from him. Okay. Just hug the cliff. It's not the most direct path, but it's clear. There's no vegetation at the base of the cliff. I don't know why that doesn't seem right, according to nature, but it's useful. Hello, Beastman. Are you angry at me because I butchered your entire tribe? That's an understandable response. Now we switch to following the river. This will take us to the bridge. And then we're back home. And if you're thinking, good grief, is it going to have to keep doing this journey over and over again? No, we're going to use the caravan. The caravan is our quick travel man. He will take us back to the caves. For a fee. An exorbitant fee, mind you. The guy's a right rip-off. But I am sensing somewhat of a power imbalance in the team now. When I see Kane with 4 hit points, and Pocky with 14. Something doesn't feel right. But that's alright, we'll get him some kills. Now, for those of you who have played this game before, you will know the spot I'm talking about, but there is a very good spot for grinding experience. There's a cave with a fire giant in it. It's a secret cave. It's not clearly designated on the map. And a fire giant is a much higher level enemy. We're not supposed to fight them until... let's see. If the Beastman Caves is Area 1, then the fire giant is in Area 4. So we're not supposed to fight him for a while yet. But you can. And it's an indoor fight, so if you kite him well enough, or if you have a spell like Blind to buy you enough time to beat him to death. What do you mean, this time? You watch your tongue. But yes, there are a few clever spells that can disable him, like Entangle or Web, or you can blind him. And then you can just beat up on the fire giant, and you will get tons of experience, because he is a much stronger enemy than you're supposed to be fighting. But we're not going to use that little exploit. It's not an exploit technically, but it's a bit lame. Oh, I see. People are becoming paranoid and bickering. That's why the cleric hates me all of a sudden. Understood. So it's all on me to save people's spirits, because people are getting a bit touchy. The withered vine repels normal vines. Thank you. I shall give it to Kane. I can trust him. I know I can. King, we're making progress. There are these people called Azkans, and we've only interacted with one of them. She attacked us on sight and we killed her. But we think we might be able to convince them to help us. It's good news, King. I've never seen the word tarry before. I wouldn't be aware of Marmillion. He's a great chap. Trust me. You can trust Marmillion. Always. that's going to do it for this one. I'm going to re-equip Kane. This is becoming a repeating pattern for Kane, I've noticed. I'm going to sort out the order of my team, which is in options for some bizarre reason. Although, honestly, in theory the halfling should be the tankiest character, but in practice, it's Pocky. And I shouldn't call Elodie the halfling, that's a bit rude. But that's gonna do it for this one. We're gonna take a quick nap just in case anyone's missing spells, but I don't think anyone is. What did I even select here? I selected Cure Light Wounds. Okay, nice. Ooh, that's gonna do it for this one. So, next time, we're gonna take the caravan back to the Beastman Caves and we're gonna push our way through a couple of vines that apparently we couldn't get through before, despite having lots of swords, bladed weapons, magic, whatever you wanted. But now, we got a stick. Hopefully you'll join me for that, and I shall see you then.